Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Carlson. I hope you're having a fantastic, cool fall morning wherever you are in the world. We are here in Central Florida. I didn't even look at the temperature this morning, Danny. What was your? Did you?
I did
He's
not.
not ready for questions yet. But we are hanging out in Studio 129, enjoying a nice, warm, brewed cup of strangely warmed coffee. Pick yours up, Legacy Bicycles or strangelywarm.com. Strangelywarmcoffee.com.
Strangely warmed coffeecompany.com.
Shoot. Laptop just went off.
You're not going to mention the schools being canceled?
Schools are canceled today. Yay for someone.
Because we have a faux hurricane?
My laptop just went off, and it was all me.
But don't worry. Everything on my end
so I'll get it right back
perfect.
Up. Okay, we're ready. All right, guys. I'm sure everyone had a great, fantastic weekend watching the news. I think the majority of the country is still glued to it. Except for the people celebrating. So whatever side of the issue you're on, I hope that it all comes out and that everyone is respectful and kind in the end. We're going to get away from politics right now, and we're going to talk about something that impacts local businesses. And this would be the constitutional amendment to raise the minimum wage in the state of Florida to $15 per hour. Now, briefly, I'm going to go on a soapbox about constitutional amendments, and I always vote against all constitutional amendment. I guess I was going to take away from politics, but I'm jumping right into the political bandwagon. Constitutional amendments in the state of Florida is something that is the special interest groups are using to enact laws or legislate through the Constitution. I always vote against all of them because Constitution is a basic framework for the creation of government, not the legislature and not laws and statutes. And it shouldn't be done that way. We elect representatives to go to Tallahassee or Washington on our behalf. Those people, therefore, make the decisions on our behalf as our representatives. We should not be legislating through the Constitution. I completely disagree with it, and I always vote against all of them and rarely even read them. In Florida, you do have to get a supermajority over 60%. So the minimum wage law actually passed at 62% or something like that, which totally shocked me. I was completely surprised by that. Surprised if you look at the demographics in the state of Florida and how our votes typically go, I wouldn't have thought that many people that are on the right of most issues would have voted on the left side of this particular issue. And I'm not saying that people don't deserve a good wage, but let's talk about how that impacts Florida. So, constitutional amendment passed, increasing the minimum wage in the state of Florida from $8.46 per hour currently to $15 per hour. Now let's go over how that breaks down. The first impact of that is over multiple years. The first impact is the increase from $8.46 to $10, which goes into effect September of 2021. So about 10 months from now, we'll get the first increase. That increase is 18%. 18%. Now, a lot of people that I've talked to have the opinion that, well, this doesn't really affect them as an employer because they're already paying everyone above the minimum wage. So I'm just going to break down some of the numbers for you. To get to 15, then after September of 2021, it increases another $1 per hour for the next 4 years to get to 15. So 5 years to get to 15. So it's going to be a long haul, but you're talking about an 18% wage hike in 2021 and 10% per year thereafter for it. The percentage actually decreases each year based on the percentage of 1 versus 11 or 1 over 10, but basically a 10% increase over that period of time. And a lot of the proponents say that this is a living wage. Well, my buddy Dan and my producer over here who runs Legacy Bicycles here in downtown Sebring, he was actually interviewed in the News Sun locally by Phil Attinger. If you have a chance, read that article. He said it was really good. He was quoted in there talking about the impact of Dan, and Dan has historically hired high school kids to come in and help him out in the shop. And he can't really hire a kiosk like the fast food chains have already done in many areas. I've used them; they're pretty good. But even like Chick-fil-A now has an app where you can sit in the parking lot and not get involved in all the chaos, or driving down the interstate and order it, pull up in space number 3, and someone comes out and hands you the food. So there will be changes across the board, but I want to review the numbers for you real quick. We're going to use a handy dandy tool, Microsoft Whiteboard, since I don't have one behind me and I don't want to draw on the wall because that would require me to paint it. So we're going to give this a shot. My handwriting is not the best. I'm an accountant, not a speller, so I'm going to do my best to get this right. All right, Danny, we ready for the whiteboard? All right, we're on. So I'm going to use a typical example. You can see me still. I'm up here, but my example is going to be somewhere else. I'm going to use a typical example of a small business as someone that I might deal with and show what the impact is of this. So let's say that this person's, I'm not going to use total. I'm going to use gross income from their business. This is cool, right? Is $200,000 for the year. Their expenses for the year total 150. Of those total expenses, wages is 100,000 total, and that's not atypical for businesses that are labor intensive. Restaurants, you're going to see a large percentage of their wages, a large percentage of their expenses are related to wages and cost of goods, the food and drinks. You're also going to see that in service businesses like mine. More than 50% of our costs are wages, so you definitely not an unreasonable example. All of their other expenses are $50,000. So total expense, 150. If I get any of this simple math wrong, maybe Dan will correct me. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the wage side. So in this scenario, the business owner is going to net and pay income taxes on $50,000. That's his profit for the year. Okay, $50,000 for the year. Under the new plan, we're going to see this number, wages, increase by 18%. So wages now are going to be $118,203. So this is the new wage after the increase. What that's going to do for the profit for the business owner is going to decrease his profit for the year, his or her, just to be fair, it's going to decrease his profit to $31,796 for the year. So it's an $18,000 direct decrease in his overall profit for the year. Now, some might say, well, evil business owners and corporations should suffer that way. But think about this. If you add a bunch of zeros to the end of it, and that's a General Electric or an IBM or Occidental Petroleum or something that's sitting in your 401k portfolio or sitting in your pension plan or other places, your savings that are out there, and you're dependent on dividends or other things, well, this number would directly have an impact on the profitability of not only the small business, but the larger businesses as well. So it does have a pretty big impact. So $31,000. How's that business owner, what's he going to do to compensate for that after he does the math here? Well, obviously what he's going to do is he's going to take the total decrease, $18,203, and how does that apply across all of his expenses? And he's going to increase his charges by the same percentage. So if I'm looking at an overall increase of $18,203 and my total income, that's about a 9% increase overall. So what you can expect to see in order for this business owner to come back up is increased prices. Whoops, I told you I'm not a speller. Prices up by 10% overall. So the business owners aren't just going to eat it. The shareholders aren't just going to eat it in small to medium, larger companies. What they're going to do is they're going to increase their prices. So here's how the circular kind of motion of this happens. They increase their pricing by 10%, assume that directs right back to here, so they get $20,000 more income. They're in a little bit better spot. But hey, wait a minute. What about all the people that he's buying this stuff from? And I'm going to try a different color. Let's see how this works out. Ooh, look at that, rainbow color. I'm going to change it to a different one. Let's assume that everyone he buys products or services from, his paper supply vendor or his building materials or software costs, everyone else is going to be in the same position. So everyone else is going to see it. So what you're going to end up seeing here is this cost of input is also going to increase by 10%. So they can make up their profit loss in this business. So at the end of this jumbling up of numbers, what you're going to see is everything is going to go up. I'm just going to make this smaller. Look at that. That is fancy. So at the end of all of this, what's going to happen is everything's going to go up across the board. It's all going to level out. And what you'll see here is wages will go up to a particular point and then level off. So will the cost of inputs and everything else. I'm no economics expert, but my general opinion on this and the impacts that it's going to have, I think are going to level everything across the board as everyone increases their prices. Increases their wages in order to compensate for that. They're going to have to increase their prices. And as they get new materials and supplies and costs of doing business coming in, and those prices are going up, everything's going to go up. And it's probably going to level out somewhere between that 18 and 20% increase. So my general message to all my customers is going to be, even if your employees aren't currently making $8.65, $8.46 per hour, you're going to end up having some increase in your wages as well, because everyone's salary scales are going to have to increase to go up. And it's going to happen. Everyone will do it. At the same time, you need to make sure that you maintain your profitability and increase your pricing. So don't be surprised when you get into the middle to end of next year when prices on everything you buy go up about 20%. And I don't think there's any way to get around that. There might be some other, I know that inputs in construction industry are going up significantly right now, unrelated to this. That's a nationwide issue. But as a general rule of thumb, if you're part of that 62% that voted for this, when it comes time to buy things in the middle to end of 2021 and for every year thereafter, don't be surprised as pricing goes up on everything that you buy. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my little math quiz. I'm going to put a little smiley face. That was bad. I don't even know if my little man is still there. I guess that's not really me, right? Hold on. There, that's more like me. Thank you for joining me on Coffee with Carlson. I hope this at least gives you something to think about. And if you don't do business with us, whoever you meet with as your financial advisor, accountant, please sit down and talk to them about this and the changes and how it might affect you. If you need to talk to me, you can always reach me at carlsonaccounting.com. You can set an appointment up right there on my calendar. It's live and always up to date, so you can come in whenever you want, or give us a call at 863-382-4141. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful day. God bless.